Ew, what is that?
My lunch?
Isn't that rotten or something?
Just because this persimmon isn't perfect doesn't mean I can't still eat it.
You know what? I'll do you a favor.
How should we as a country go about a global problem affecting our world every day? Food waste. This stealthy but lingering problem happens every day. On average, a person produces 4.9 pounds of garbage every day. While it might not seem like much, the numbers added up to a year is massive. Now imagine those numbers for a whole country.
Contributions to our food waste problem include
misinformation or lack of information on food waste,
overstocking and overbuying, and appearance over quality, where perfectly edible produce is discarded due to visual imperfections.
70 to 90% of food thrown away is still edible. Restaurants often sell big portions to appeal to customers. When not sold, this food is wasted.
My name's Brett Wilmot. I'm the general manager at the Old Venice restaurant in Point Loma. Unfortunately, sometimes you have double waste. So you're throwing away food and the container you put it in.
Perishables such as lettuce and tomato are often bought in bulk for convenience. However, the process of making pre-made food is not sustainable for our environment, as it causes a large amount of uneaten food to go to waste.
Lettuce would be the main thing. If you prepare too much, it wilts and goes soft and it's unused. Overbuying fresh products, produce, meat, seafood, chicken.
As for restaurants, what can they do to reduce our global food waste percentage?
My neighbor has rabbits. I take a lot of it home and give it to the rabbits to eat. Throw it over the fence and then that saves my neighbor money. He doesn't have to buy as much food for his rabbits. We get deliveries 3-4 days a week, so we don't buy too much in advance. The more often you can get deliveries, you eliminate a lot of your waste. We don't buy any prepared foods. Everything comes in and it's raw state, so you only want to thaw out what you're going to use, that day. You just open that amount and cook it for each day. People might order a single order of fish, and then other parts of the same fish are cut up and put into seafood soups, and seafood stews, chipinos, that kind of thing. Again, it's the same items used in a different way.
Restaurants can prevent a chunk of their waste by composting, donating, or just not buying too much produce in advance.
As our society advances, people discard food waste as an issue. As of now, children of our generation aren't informed on the global impacts of food waste.
This leads to the majority of people not taking food waste seriously, which makes it normalized.
We asked around our school to see if students knew anything about food waste. Here's what they had to say.
Every single day, I see people throwing perfectly good food that can be eaten or composted.
Our school doesn't really teach about it. I think there's a lot of food waste, and it's probably because of lack of education.
Many people are throwing away food and they don't notice that it's harming the environment.
There's a lot of food waste. It happens in our campus, but not many people know about it. It can really harm our environment.
There's a lack of education on food waste. During lunch, a lot of people don't know where to put their food if they don't want it, so they just throw it away.
I see a lot of people dumping their produce in the trash.
Most people are not aware of how much food they waste personally. This problem can be solved starting so much by the consumer, and then the consumer can push that to restaurants and to retailers.
There's a misperception with a lot of consumers that if the fruit or the vegetable doesn't look just absolutely perfect in the store when they're picking it out, then it can't be good. That's simply not true. Support for and encouragement of some of the imperfect or the unusual looking fruits and vegetables, that those are still very healthful products for consumers, would be terrific.
A common misconception is that food waste is nothing but a minor issue compared to perceived catastrophic problems such as fastening global warming rates and air pollution. However, climate change is like a tree with many roots, each representing a different reason it is able to grow and thrive. One of these roots is food waste. When food is thrown away, it ends up in a landfill where it produces methane into our atmosphere and thus allows our climate crisis to continue.
Food is the #1 contributor to landfills today, and landfills are the 3rd largest source of methane. The climate impact of uneaten food in the U.S. is equivalent to 58 million cars annually.
Our message to the president is that there should be more available resources to prevent food waste in our schools and communities. If we slowly decrease the rate of food waste in our communities, we can make a bigger impact globally. For example, setting up a mandatory table or bin where uneaten produce can be placed on school campuses. This can be taken and donated at the end of the day to low-income households and even given out to the homeless. The process of donating could kill 2 birds with 1 stone because it will ensure that less produce ends up in our landfills and more ends up on the plates of the less fortunate. There's enough food in our landfills to make more than 140 billion meals. We are ready for a future where food waste is not an overlooked issue, but rather a real concern that is both taken seriously and prevented through small changes. The only question left to ask is, are you ready to make those changes?